Hey everybody, it's a Review Revolution, back at you again, and I've got a little story to share with you. It goes, Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her, so he put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. It's rather innocent. A little charming, actually. Not if you're Todd McFarlane. And definitely not if you're collecting the McFarlane Monsters Series 4 Twisted Fairy Tales and nursery rhymes. Through McFarlane's imagination, we are going to get the dark side of this story. And from what I can tell, it's pretty gruesome. In pack, of course, typical packaging for the Twisted Fairy Tales. The orange and yellow kind of colors on the package. There we have Peter Pumpkin Eater with his portrait. The usual age 17 and up, and not for children under 3. Picture on the side of Peter, and all the portraits, all the actual figure pictures. Each and every one of them look fantastic. I mean, I've been keeping these cards. I've been keeping it because the artwork on the packaging is as good as the figure itself, easily. On the back, of course, the other figures that are in the set, and as I mentioned, there are always 6 in the set with McFarlane. Hansel and Gretel are done. Peter will put us halfway through. Miss Muffet, Humpty Dumpty, and Red Riding Hood are the only ones left to go. And of course, McFarlane Toys, it's an attitude. Yeah, I can't wait. I really, really hope that McFarlane comes back to these. You know, it's all well and good for him to do the sports figures. I mean, the Roger Staubach is pretty cool, but really, it's something where I hope he gets back to original works. You know, the Halo stuff is cool. Again, the NFL stuff is cool, but I really hope he gets back to his original stuff soon. For now, though, we'll take a moment. We're going to pop Peter out of the pack and have some fun. Be right back. All right, everybody. We're back. And, looking at the figure this way, looking at it kind of just head on like this, I can't help feeling that, this could easily just be something that you just sort of stumbled onto, just sort of a scene you accidentally walked up on. And in fact, it's the last thing you ever see. Because, wow, this is dark. This is dark. As the nursery rhyme says, it says, Peter Pumpkin Eater. So I guess it's good to go ahead and start with Peter. Taking a look at him. I gotta tell you, this guy's got more sculpting on him, more sculpting and great paint apps than any NECA zombie. I'll tell you, this is really an amazingly sculpted figure. And the paint applications, I mean, yeah, some of it's just thrown on, but for the figure, it doesn't matter. I mean, it just continues to add to the almost insanity that this is. This is just madness. Look at this guy. All kinds of scarification. He's got the stitches and the huge gashes across his body. Got the shorts with the pumpkins on it. He's got his hemp rope belt. Big old blood stain there on the side. Whether it's his or someone else's, I mean, with the big chunk out of his body there, it could very well be his own. The legs. And he doesn't even have toenails. He's got these claws. Almost making him less than human. Oops. Just monstrous. Look at that. Impressive. Very, very impressive. The sculpt on the face, of course, just like any good zombie, he's got the blinded, milky eye, and then the one good one that he's seeing out of, squinting out of. I love the way that the mouth is open. It's not wide open in a yell, but it's kind of a snarling growl. You know, whole part of his face is missing, the nose. He's got the bloody locks. Nicely done. Now, in the fairy tale, Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. Now, for Mcfarlane's version, there's kind of two ways you can think of it. Possibly they, in fact, were married, and Peter could not keep her at home. Or, in fact, they were never married except in his own mind. And through his rather obsession, because you can see here on his body, Sally. On his arm, heart, Sally. You know, underneath the bandage here, there may be another cut or scar with her name. Oh, he's got the pumpkin, along with the pumpkins that are sculpted onto his pants, onto his shorts. He's actually got a pumpkin kind of branded on his arm there. So he seems to have two obsessions: Sally and pumpkins. And whether or not he and Sally were actually ever really married, that's part of kind of the dark story that you'll have to kind of figure out yourself. The figure itself, or the head is on a hinge, though it doesn't move all that much. The arms, they do have a twist here, but line up very nicely. Well, there's only one pose it's really supposed to be in, so even though you can twist it and get it in some other ways, that's how you really are supposed to have it. The hands twist as well. Now, of course, with his glove, you can really get it pretty much any twist you want. That doesn't really matter. But there's also a twist here, kind of a hinge at the shoulder. And even though there's a hinge at the shoulder, again, you can tell when it's out of line because you can see that's at center, that's not. So even there, it's just, you can tell. This hand also has a twist. And there's a twist at the waist. Now, actually, the torso's popped out on me. It's just pins in, basically, almost. So it's popped out a couple of times, but it just pops right back in. The feet. Now, Peter will not, just like the others, Peter will not stand on his own. He needs his accessories. Take a look at that, those gashes on his leg. Look at that. Look at those wrappings. Oh, man. What a psycho. Huh. But there's a twist there at the sleeve of the shorts. Nothing in the foot at all. The foot is solid sculpt. And because of it, again, it's not going to stand up on his own. But as the second part of the nursery rhyme says, he had a wife and couldn't keep her. Now again, whether or not this was really his wife or in fact just some poor lady who he had an obsession with, he put her in a pumpkin shell and so kept her very well. The pumpkin itself, the jack-o'-lantern, you can see the carving. It's got the blood pouring out. Now, as gruesome as it sounds, I would really like to have seen the mouth and the eye hollowed out with the inside of the sculpt showing through a little bit more. I mean, this is kind of a quick and dirty way to kind of do it, but it would be really nice to be able to see through the inside of the mouth and the eye, you know, the rest of the body as it's been kind of just broken in there. I know that's kind of dark, but again, that would really have made it more gruesome. The one eye is kind of closed and still bleeding as blood kind of pours out from the body. And here again, Peter, Heart, Sally. Boo. Let's see here. Eat. Got the heart. I love how they kind of take that brownish color, those bruises that pumpkins have, and use that color to put in these carvings to kind of give the pumpkin itself flesh, some tattoos and some scarring. Eek, kill, sweetheart. See, that's just creepy. Blood, boo. Really, really disturbing. Now, Now, Peter comes with 2 other accessories. One is the top of the pumpkin shell, which doesn't really close up. I mean, it doesn't really fit on there, but it does slide into his hand, like so. And actually, like Hansel, there is an axe that Peter comes with that will pop apart or unpeg. Let's do that again. Pins in, unpegs, and it slips into his hand. Stay on camera now. Pegs in his hand like so. He's got a hole here in the side of his leg, and there is a pin on the pumpkin, so it just kind of pops in there. And then with his accessories all combined, again, truly the last thing you could possibly see if you were to accidentally come across this nut. This is probably not the grossest of the Series 4s. That one's still yet to come, but definitely the darkest. The image of this woman's poor broken body stuffed into the pumpkin shell, and just kind of the obsessive way that Peter is just covered with the tattoos and these blends of affection with this just gruesome act just makes it so dark. So I have to say, out of all 6 of these figures, it's not the goriest, but it is by far probably the darkest. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Got still the other half of the McFarlane Monsters yet to come. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.